Hello everyone, welcome to the little pre-part of Nethack Nights. We will be getting started with our tonight's show very shortly. If you are watching and you don't have a Twitch account, I highly encourage you to take the time now to go along, sign up for one, because that will let you take part in the chat. One of the most fun elements of Nethack Nights is taking part in the chat, talking over situations, and trying to figure out what we should do next. The chat is where it's at. And you do have enough time to go along and register for an account now. And I'm glad to see that other people are already excited about the chat. That is great to see. So yeah, we will get started properly in just a couple of minutes. Okay, I think we are ready to get started. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Nethack Nights. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Alex, and I am your guest host for this evening. Casey is still moving across the country, though Casey is also joining us in chat this evening, so I have the uncommon experience of hosting an episode of this whilst our regular host is watching and participating. This is an interesting reversal of roles. Casey did just say in the chat that he hasn't caught up with the last episode, and would be very upset if we had died. We had not died, but we definitely ended on a cliffhanger. Our wizard, if you recall, was left on, I think, 9 hit points. We had completed Sokoban. We fought our way through Sokoban. We had found ourselves an altar and donated some money to the priest. We had made a whole bunch of holy water, blessed some scrolls, blessed some of our other inventory, and got some advantages from that. And we just started playing around in the mines a little bit. And if you recall, in that, going back 2 weeks, there was a blue dragon that we encountered and ran away from. Well, we went and had another look at that dragon, and that dragon promptly turned into a centaur, and then a mastodon. Mastodons are big, mastodons are scary, mastodons hit hard. The mastodon hit us once and knocked us down to 9 HP, at which point we ran away and left the stream for a week. So, let's return to our game and see where we are. 7 HP, not 9 HP, I forget that. I am pretty sure that this unicorn is a peaceful unicorn. It is not a peaceful unicorn, so the unicorn could mess us up in short order. However, the unicorn will do its best to avoid us. So as long as we, much like spiders, if we stay out of its way, it'll do its best to stay out of our way. And given the choice between a unicorn and a mastodon, I know exactly which one I would rather have hanging around. Let's have a quick look at that dungeon overview. We are currently in Minetown. We can see that one of the dwarves has been knocking out some of those walls. We haven't gone all the way down to the bottom of the gnomish mines, but we do have a luck stone. The luck stone is, if you like, the point of the end of the gnomish mines, so we don't actually have to keep going down. The thing that we were trying to do last time is we do also have a blessed touchstone, which allows us to identify gems. And gems mean money, and money means protection. Money means we can pay stuff to the priests and lower our AC, which is pretty important for a wizard because we don't have any metal armor. So we're still on AC 2, which is a little bit like substandard for a character on level 9. So we've done some of the mines, we completed Sokoban, and we found a very big room which was full of bees. If somebody said to you in real life, would you like to walk into this big room, it's full of bees, you'd probably say, no, thank you, I'm kind of okay, I'd much rather not. The same is true of Nethack. I don't want to be in a room full of bees. But I might have no choice. So let's also examine our inventory. We've got 2,800 gold pieces. We have an amulet of reflection. That was what we got from the top of Sokoban. We have some daggers, which we've been throwing at things, and we've got okay armor. It's nothing really tremendous, but it's alright. We have a few wands, mostly unidentified. We have a bag of tricks and a blindfold, a leash, a unicorn, and those 2 blessed things. We also have a stash further up, but I could not tell you where. So I think the first thing I want to do is I want to put on this blindfold so I can actually make sure that there is nothing bad coming. That unicorn is kind of closing in pretty rapidly, so I'm just going to stand in the corner and hope that it will disappear. I just wanted to double check as well. I don't think I've got any rings currently. Like, what would be ideal in this case is if I had a ring of regeneration, which I don't. This is very victorious music for the time when like my wizard is kind of bleeding and battered in the corner. So, unfortunately, this is a very slow start to this episode. I'm just going to sit here for a little while and very carefully, gingerly tap on the wait key. If that unicorn left, then I might be inclined to go even further upstairs, but maybe I can just kind of like, just sneak around a little bit. Like, if that unicorn went further away...
Nectarin is broadcasting the best of the demos and music 24 hours a day.
There we go.
7 days a week.
So, we are there. We can make it to the upstairs. I don't know if we really have any, if anyone in the chat is joining us, because who is particularly, big on Nethack. But one of the, like, the whole reason why we are in the mines, and the whole reason why we are so, if you like, keen to go further, even though we have that luck stone, is that the mines are full of gems. Oh, I think we should be okay. We're on 27 HP. Let's not trigger that trap anymore. If we push that out of the way, then we can just check on that and it'll not give us any problems again. It'll disarm the trap, essentially. So as I was saying, in the mines are full of gems, but the gnomes, the dwarves will have been mining around, retrieving a lot of the gems. I am a neutral character, and one of the things we talked a little bit about last week, actually, was about how much of Nethack is actually role-playing, how much is kind of... We talked about, like, stealing from shops, right? Like, if you are playing a lawful character, should you make your pet steal from shops? Some people would say no, because as a lawful character, that's not getting into the role-play aspects of the game. That's not actually, you know, following that kind of ethos. On the other hand, you could say, well, the game allows it, the game doesn't give me any penalty for it, so yeah, I don't care if I'm playing a lawful character, I will steal from shops. Because I'm pretty sure, and the way that comes around is I'm pretty sure these dwarves are going to have lots of gems, and I would kind of like their gems so I could sell them. But is it wrong of me to kill them for their potential gems? Maybe the thing to do is we do have our warhorse meat. Warhorse meat was our pet, so let's have a quick chat and just check that warhorse meat is okay. Warhorse meat wickers. And we haven't seen warhorse meat. Like, horses are kind of hard to keep tame because we don't have a lot of food for them. Anyway, let's leash warhorse meat and lead our horse to the downstairs, because maybe we can avoid that whole question of should we worry about our role-playing aspects by getting our pet to kill those dwarves for us. And we're back up to 57 HP, so I'm feeling a bit more comfortable now. The beast which was giving us trouble was a chameleon. It changed in from a dragon to a centaur to a that mastodon. So we could potentially go down the stairs and run away from it until it turns into something pretty much harmless. Ooh, I'm gonna just remove that blindfold, because this is a panther. Which is fairly tough. Let's cast a little spell at it. So hopefully if we hang around here, then these two will face off. Perfect, thank you, Warhorse Meat. And after all that, after all my talk about how the dwarves are probably loaded with gems, nothing, not a jot. There are other gnomes here. What else do we have here? Other dwarves here even. Let's sorry, Warhorse Meat. Let's remove that blindfold and see if we can find that dwarf. So we can see there is a gem here, but the dwarf hadn't dug it out. And I don't think... Yeah, I don't have any digging tools. Let's just drop that pickaxe and see if... Yeah, Warhorse Meat's quite happy to do that. So we can grab that pickaxe and grab that rock. I wielded 3 daggers there. What I actually wanted to wield was Magic Bane. Ooh, I definitely wanted to keep my amulet on. I wanted to remove No, I wanted to unapply that leash. See, Warhorsemeat is now winning instead of wickering, so let's give Warhorsemeat an apple. Tell you what, let's take, if not a chance, let's... Actually, I think I do want to keep that on, because I'm going to want to throw some daggers at this Q. A Mumak. So now I don't want to throw anything, because my horse, I don't want to hit him by accident. So there was another dwarf up over this way, which I would kind of like... That was odd. I would have expected that dwarf to be friendly. Which he is. He's just wielding a dagger randomly. Oh, I shouldn't have eaten while satiated. No, do not continue eating. That was a moment of foolishness. So Warhorsemeat seems pretty disinclined against attacking this dwarf. Which, to be honest, probably suggests he's wearing a mithril coat. As in, he's got a very high AC, so my horse is not very inclined to mess with him. So, I think we should take a chance, really. I think we should definitely go and have a look lower in the mine. Let's go and see if we can take out that chameleon. Because I don't know how quick mastodons are. But I feel like if I was on full HP, so I'm going to wait here a little bit, I could run away from that mastodon in time. Which is just a feeling, and I might just be walking down here to a knowing death. But, like, I can taste those gems. I want the gems. Okay, we're full HP, we're full power, our pet's with us. Let's go for it. There we go, we've made it away from the thing. I definitely don't want that to walk onto the level teleport trap. That would be a disaster. Definitely not going to get involved in that newt, as I seem to have walked myself into a... Well, this might be the end of our wizard. Yep. Sure enough. The end of a 4-episode wizard. I'm sorry, I thought, it being a chameleon, that it was going to transform, as it transformed 4 times in the times that we saw it from the staircase. But we ended up backing ourselves into a corner, and that was it. But that is Nethack, that is how it goes. So we had 2,902 gold pieces, Cursed Scroll of Gold Detection. We could have zapped that Wand of Polymorph at it and that would have probably changed it into something else, but that was kind of a bit of a long shot. The rest of our loot, pretty good. We got to level 9. We had a small defense bonus, and were very fast. You had reflection, you were lucky, you had extra luck, you are dead. So I should probably have taken some screenshots of those final bits. I'm not as hot on the screenshots. Casey's really good at picking up on the screenshots, but we can do at least our end thing. Yes, let's see the dungeon overview. There we go, there was Keterax. How long ago it was that we saw the poor remains of Keterax. Killed by a chameleon imitating a mastodon. Pretty sure that got screenshotted okay. So, the night is yet young, let's start another game. Let's stick with the wizard, as like we didn't really explore much of the spell castingness of the wizard. And I think I said last time, let's play the gnomish wizard again, as that's what we had last time. And quite happy to be a random gender. I think this is exactly the same character as we had last time. Our god is Thoth. We are looking for the amulet. Be careful, new moon tonight. So we're standing next to a lichen. We've got a kitten. As usual, suggestions in the chat, please. What should we call our kitten? And let's see what we started with. Well, we have a Cloak of Magic Resistance, which is standard stuff. Enchant Weapon, I think, is a pretty good one to start with. I'm quite happy with that one. Ring of Invisibility is pretty awesome. I think we might slip that one on as soon as we've got a few food rations in our inventory. Object Detection, Restorability, A Blessed Potion of See Invisible, I might just go ahead and quaff that right now. Because that will allow us to see invisible, and we will get that as an intrinsic right off the bat. So the suggestion was made that we should call the kitten Casey, which I am kind of open to. We did talk about naming one of our previous kittens Casey, but thought they weren't going to do it. So the suggestion was made to call the kitten Hipster. We could go with Hipster. I mean, I have been into Nethack since it was still underground, so kind of appropriate. A scroll labeled Zlorfic. That was not a good thing. Let's not try and not. Let's get out of the pit. Well, Hipster did not last very long. Hipster fell into a pit and died. So I'm kicking open this door now because if there's a door in the doorway, you cannot move diagonally through it, which I obviously want to do because I don't want to have to go into the pit. A couple of monsters line up, which I always think is kind of begging to receive a force bolt. So we totally force bolted that jackal and gridbug. There's the downstairs. I'm going to go down there again. Not because I want to move on to level 2 quite yet, but that way if I fall through a hole or a trapdoor, I will know where the upstairs is. So it's definitely sad that we have lost a pet right away, but it is also a problem, right? Like, we can't get our pet to fight monsters on our behalf, which with a slightly weaker character like a wizard is really useful. The ability to test stuff and see whether it's cursed or not is really important in the early game. The ability to steal stuff from shops is really important too. But never mind. I think, looking back up, on the level above, I think we've pretty much explored everything there is to be in this dungeon level for now. So let's go on to dungeon level 2. A lot of boulders around here tonight. Let's zap a spell to get rid of that boulder. Just watching my HP a little bit there, just to make sure that I don't... I have to remember that I'm no longer playing a level 9 character, I'm playing a level 2 character now. It was a level 1 character. So things that... Because when you're level 9, you're like, jackal, don't care about the jackal. But you have to be a little bit more careful when you're level 1. I am not a huge fan of darts, but I will pick up the darts for the time being until I find myself some daggers. This track, by the way, is by Planet Boalex and is called 1,000 Faces. So if you like the music, that's what you should be Googling. This is something which we haven't seen too much in the game and is worth highlighting. We can see this hobbit down the corridor, even though the corridor isn't lit. Gnomes have infravision, which means that they can see hot stuff, warm stuff, like they can see infrared. So if a monster is warm-blooded, we can see it, even if we can't see the dungeon around it, which is how we see that particular hobbit. So I think that looks like everything on this level. Apparently there's 2 giant rats floating around here. You know what, I'm going to cast another spell, which might be an abundance of caution, but I would rather be cautious than dead. And we do have some darts now, so I can throw a dart. And okay, it's going to miss the fox, but, you know, I tried. So we found a bag. I'm still kind of low level, and it could be a bag of tricks. Bags of tricks will spawn monsters, and I would rather not deal with monsters when I am a rather low level character still. I'm completely out of darts, but I'm not out of mana, so we can spell cast at this red mold. So yeah, I'm going to wait until I level up a little bit before I have a look inside that bag and see if there's anything good in it. Do we think that's a statue or a human zombie? It is a statue. A hardware store. Damn, this might be the end of our game. As we just walked into it, I think we are going to be stuck to that mimic. Let's spellcast a couple of things and try and escape. So we weren't stuck to the mimic, we did manage to escape. We don't have a lot of gold. There's something good in that chest. Although I would guess that it's probably just going to be a couple of gems, which is really what's nudging that up north. I'm pretty sure that whistles don't have a usage fee attached to them, so we can just go ahead and try that. That produced a high whistling sound, so I can name that particular whistle that I just picked up normal. A lot of blindfolds in the store. Some lamps, a flute, an icebox, a leash, a candle, and a tin opener. Well, we'll remember that there are a couple of blindfolds in here. Like, we don't really need to worry about it for the time being. Actually, you know what? I'm going to buy a blindfold, even though it might be cursed. It's useful to have, and we do have a scroll of remove curse. And while it would be a bit of a waste, if we had to use that to get rid of a blindfold, the option is there. Hey, there is our friend. The floating eye, which did not leave a corpse. So this is a pretty impressive room. We have ourselves a shiny ring, a trike ration, and a spellbook, which is a really good thing for a spellcaster to find. But again, as I currently have no good or no way to know whether that is cursed or not, I don't want to chance risking it. Another floating eye, which again did not leave a corpse for us. So I'm going to zap a spell at this wall, as I was pretty sure there was a secret door there, and sure enough, there is. So there doesn't really seem to be anything else on this level, so we can step around the peaceful garter snake and continue on to the downstairs. I'm just going to search along this wall because there might be something around here. Does not seem that way. I'm going to keep casting Force Bolt at that because that bat did leave me... It did some damage. Floating Eye Corpse. So we now have a strange mental acuity, so that blindfold might become a little bit more useful to us. I'm cautious of this boulder in the corner. This boulder kind of says there is a rolling boulder trap. So I'm going to zap. Hey, there we go, you see? Zap the boulder, break the boulder, step on the boulder trap, everything's fine. I am not as familiar with Bjork, so I... Oh, people were naming Twitch emoticons, but I thought they were naming Bjork songs, because to be honest, I find Pog Champion, Daniel's Game, and Greyface all legitimate Bjork titles. Doesn't seem to be anything else down that corridor. A little dog. Let's toss a fortune cookie at this little dog and make ourselves a new pet. So we have a little dog as a pet. I think ages ago Sarah in the chat asked, how do we make, or how do you know the HP of your pet? You can tell if you have a stethoscope, which I don't, either in this game or the previous one. You can get some idea, not necessarily how of its HP, but you can get an idea of how happy it is by chatting to it. Like, they make different sounds based on their broad happiness. So that will give you some sense of how happy your pets are. But for the most part, it's kind of like just a sense. Like if you're, like if you've seen your pet fight a lot of things, then like it's probably a bit low on HP. So there is a downstairs. I can't remember if we went down the other one. I guess not, because this took us down into a regular room. So the one over there will be the downstairs to the mines. Look at that, that looks like there really should be a thing. I might even cast Force Bolt that way. But no, so that looks like there should be a secret passageway between those two passageways. There is no such passageway. So no light around in this mine, but that pit might actually be a bit of a pain, as I currently have no way of digging or jumping. So if I want to get past that pit, I'm going to have to jump back into it. So let's eat that potato that we picked up. Potato is a slime mold in Casey's game, but I've named mine Potato. Black Naga hatchling is kind of big, so we might well cast some spells in its direction. Totally going to eat its corpse. So, got myself a pretty good stash of darts now. I might drop some of those later. This is going to be a falling rock trap. This is what we call foreshadowing. We see here 2 rocks and a gnome corpse. A trapdoor in the ceiling opens and a rock falls on your head. Yep, our gnomish wizard is rather lacking in armor. So I don't really think we've got any option. Yeah, we're going to have to just get into that pit. Deal with the HP loss. We haven't named our dog yet. I haven't really seen any suggestions for the dog name in the chat. So please get on that. I will take these daggers and that potato. My eyes kind of glazed over the armor there, but I think I should have checked that a little bit more closely. And I think I might also take this skull cap if it's on offer. Yeah, that's okay, so we can put that on. It would definitely be nice to have some kind of source of light, which I'm 90% sure we don't have. There was a lamp back up in that tool shop. Like, I'm not so worried, like, the lack of light. Like, there's 2 dangers to darkness in Nethack. One is that you can't find the staircase easily, but the other is you can't see danger coming for you. And I'm less worried about that one because I'm playing a gnome and my gnome has infravision, so I can see things like this hobbit coming towards me. Well, I will pick up those food rations, and I will eat that hobbit corpse. The gnomish wizard's body takes on a strange transparency. Normally, it would say, suddenly, you cannot see the gnomish wizard. But because we drank that potion, that blessed potion of See Invisible, we can now see invisible, so we can see the gnome. And we ourselves are gnomes, so that's not a problem. S. Pavis is asking in the chat, sorry, I'm I should say Sarah is asking in the chat, is the dog still alive? As far as I know, yes, the dog is still alive. We have not seen our dog in a while, and there is a level teleport trap there. So it is possible that our dog has got himself teleported away. Sorry, crawling through the dungeon like one square at a time is really not a very exciting bit of Nethack to watch. A horn. Hey, there's the downstairs. And there's another downstairs. Yeah, that's going to be a peaceful dwarf, but maybe not a peaceful guardian naga hatchling. So again, let's throw some daggers at it. More for practice than anything else. Going to wait here. Like again, that dwarf and that gnome is going to be peaceful towards us, but the jackal or the coyote is not going to be peaceful towards us. And I was just starting to get a little bit low on HP, so you know what? I will spellcast towards that. Coyote. So we still are loaded with potatoes. Let's eat another potato and go down. And yeah, this looks like Minetown. So let's see what kind of Minetown we have. Oh dear, I kind of just like blundered straight into that snake. I might not be able to get away in time. Yeah. The snake's bite was poisoned. Wizard is about to die. You die. So we kind of made a run for Minetown, which we got to. Didn't find out whether what kind of altar there was in Minetown. So sometimes you have games which last for many, many episodes. Sometimes you have games which last for about 20 minutes. So we had a Blessed Scroll of Identify, which maybe could have helped us. I probably wouldn't have used it at this point. Even if I'd known it was Blessed. The Spellbook of Identify is a bit of a kick in the teeth. That is the kind of thing that if you can identify that, makes the game so much easier. If we had... What I should have done is as soon as I'd tamed that dog is drop that spellbook, identified it and made an attempt to read it. I completely forgot that we were carrying around an unidentified spellbook. That we were just waiting to see whether it was cursed or not. Because once you know the identify spell, anything you pick up, you can find out what it is. It's a scroll, you want to find out what kind of scroll it is, zap the spell. Our wizard is still kind of low level, they would have had a high failure rate and it would have cost us a lot of mana. But that would have definitely made our game much easier. And I would have probably played that wizard a little bit more cautiously if I'd known about that. And then nothing else really interesting in there. But that bag, which we picked up, was indeed a bag of tricks. So we kind of did the right thing in not trying to loot that bag when we were a low-level character. So we got to level 5. We were a conjurer. I was unlucky, and I am dead. I was illiterate. I never read any scrolls or spellbooks. We can see the dungeon overview, but I think we're all pretty well acquainted with it at this point. 420 gold, killed by a snake. So I will screenshot that just for the sake of completion. Let's go again. And I will ask the chat now, because like this is going to be our third wizard that we have played. If fate conspires against us and we die again, would you rather watch me make another run at a wizard or do a completely random roll and see whatever the game picks and see what we can find out about that? My wizard apparently doesn't know his own strength. Well, he does, it's strength 10, we can see it in the status bar, but my wizard tried to loot this chest. We tore a scroll to shreds and destroyed a potion. But there is a yellowish brown gem and a light green spellbook. So our cat will stand on the spellbook. We can try reading that immediately, but it's difficult to comprehend, so we're going to wait until we level up a couple of bits. And we should probably take a look at our inventory as well. We've got a Scroll of Destroy Armor, which is not very useful, but it is at least nice to have identified. Scroll of Enchant Weapon, which is very useful, pretty happy with that. Wand of Polymorph, again, pretty useful. Potion of Extra Healing. Cause Fear is a spell I don't find that useful, but you know, again, I'd be pretty happy with that. And we do have a Ring of Slow Digestion. So let's put that on right now, and we will be... It massively slows down the hunger that our character spends. So we don't have to worry, like we don't really have to worry about food in this game now we've got that ring. So that is one thing that we don't have to worry about in our early game. This track, by the way, is called Hurt My Feelings by Spiral, and I like it. Don't have anything to throw at this orc just yet, but we can zap a spell at him. A key is kind of a useful thing. I'll pick up his crude dagger as well. It's a terrible weapon. But as we've previously talked about, if our wizard lives long enough to find an altar that is co-aligned, then we're going to start sacrificing things. And when we start sacrificing things, we are pretty, like the first gift that a wizard gets from their god is Magic Bane, which is an Athame, which is a kind of dagger. So daggers are nice to throw at things, both because they don't disappear. Darts can disappear, but daggers don't when you throw them at things. But also because of that, the fact that eventually, you know, we're probably going to switch to a dagger-like weapon at some point. So if we start throwing them around, then we can start training that weapon skill a little bit. So I don't think there's anything else for us on dungeon level 1. Let's go down to the next level. We found an altar already. It's a chaotic altar, so we can use it to find out whether stuff is cursed or not. None of that was cursed. So we can't sacrifice on that altar. That would be a bad idea. But we can at least identify whether things are cursed, blessed, or uncursed. This corridor, yeah, I did that quite a bit. Searched there quite a bit, but didn't come up with anything. and it had a real look about it of a corridor that had a lot of stuff in it. Oh, it had a lot of likelihood to have a secret door at the end of it. So I'm currently satiated and wearing a ring of slow digestion, so I'm going to take off that ring of slow digestion just for the time being, just until I'm no longer satiated. I was not expecting this pathway to go quite as far as it did. We are no longer satiated, so we'll put that ring of slow digestion back on. I think I actually put the ring of... Yeah, I put the wrong ring on. Was that a little C that I saw coming? Surely not, I'm only dungeon level 1. Did anyone in the chat really catch like what that creature was that we saw? Or maybe it was a Z, that would make a little more sense. Because a brown C would have been a cicatrice, and that would have been very concerning for a level 1 character. So here is that shop. I'm going to pick up this food ration and I'm going to drop it again. As I think we've talked about previously, if our pet eats something that was previously in our inventory, then that counts enough to make our pet feel more friendly towards us. So we are going to be all over the Duam Znart, or Thanks Maud, as we might say. That's quite a cheap scroll, so we know that's going to be the Identify scroll. So yeah, we are going to buy as many of those as we possibly can. And I don't have enough money for it. Am I carrying around any junk that I would happily sell? I have some gems, but I'm not going to get very much for them. Sure, why not? Like, there's no point. Like, they could be something, they could be glass, but whatever. I will do that, as that will give me enough to buy that. I wonder if Rex is willing to stand on that armor. I'm guessing so, because he dropped something on it. So it's a leather armor, which is kind of boring. I don't really want to kill the goblin inside the shop. Oh, too late. I was hoping he'd pick something up. So I would really like my pet to pick up these bits of armor and steal them for me. I might be out of luck. Well, I could stand around and wait for my pet to steal those things, and if I were playing on my own I probably would, but I have a feeling that wouldn't make very exciting viewing. So instead, let's go and just quickly drop the things on the altar, just so we know whether everything in our inventory is blessed, cursed, or otherwise. And then go and have a look at the next dungeon level. So I'm going to come down here and wait for the floating eye to do that. Because if I zapped force bolt at it with that potion in a way, it would have destroyed the potion. So my streaming music seems to have stopped for some reason. I might just poke at that and see if we can get the music back. And if I should feel ominous as a result of the music stopping. There we go. So we found some more gold. If we wanted, we could buy some more items as a result of that. Again, scrolls of identify, we will be all over those. I'm just going to wait here and see if Rex... Okay, so Rex does not like those riding boots, so we're not going to buy those. And I'm definitely not going to raise the money for that spellbook. But I will drop it by the doorstep and see how willing... oh, I found a mimic. That's not very good. Let's run away from the mimic. So that mimic apparently turned to flee. Ah, this might be bad times in lines, but no, we got okay with that. We killed the mimic, we killed the orc, we leveled up to level 4. Rex eats a small mimic corpse. You see a little dog appear where Rex was. And I think if we search, then we will find Rex. Yeah. So I would rather like that spellbook, really, and I would like it without having to pay for it. So Rex, if you could pick up that spellbook, that would be super. But again, Rex does not really seem in the mood to cooperate. I'm a little bit more inclined with this one rather than a couple of random pieces of armor. Just because spellbooks are perfect. Don't you dare pick it up again. Oh! He picked it up, he dropped it in the doorway, and then he picked it up again. Come on, Rex. There we go, that's more like it. So let's try reading that spellbook. Difficult to comprehend. Let's say no for now. Let's also try reading that other one that we knew was uncursed. So as a wizard, I am more likely to succeed at reading difficult spellbooks, but it can also do bad things to you, like paralyze you for a certain number of turns, which is definitely not something I want. That seems like a good way to die, and I've died twice in this episode. I would like to avoid that, so I'm going to be a little bit more cautious. So still only the one staircase down. To be honest, I think I'm inclined to go back up to that shop and buy some of that other armor, because I am AC 9, which is terrible. And there is that studded leather armor, which I know Rex was willing to step on. So that's got me down to AC 7, which is still not superb. I am now burdened. I wonder if I put on that ring of gain strength. Yeah, I did put on that ring of gain strength, but it didn't get me anything. Like, it didn't unburden me. Rex picked up a short wand, so I'm all about that. So I'm curious to see whether Rex is going to step on this, on these gloves, because if he does, then I will probably buy them. But he does seem a little bit reluctant. Yeah, I'm not really getting a good feeling about those gloves. So Rex picked up a balsa wand. I didn't see him drop the balsa wand. There we go. So we're doing okay in terms of wands. We haven't identified any of them yet, but we do have quite a lot of them. Weirdly, even when we dropped all of that stuff, we were still burdened, which is kind of a surprise. Potion of Holy Water is definitely a nice find. I really don't want to be burdened in the dungeon. Let's eat that tin. We haven't eaten in a while. I will eat Jackal, but that did make our fingers very slippery. So I'm going to have to kind of wait a little bit until my fingers are no longer quite so slippery before re-wielding my weapon. There is an altar here, so I'm thinking maybe I'm going to drop my spell books here, but I think we can at least go down and find a chest. I mean, I have destroyed a couple of large boxes, which is stupid as I've been carrying a key around with myself as well, which is, again, right, I'm making silly mistakes. I should not be bashing boxes with my quarterstaff, I should be unlocking them with my key. So my wizard is not... He does not necessarily have the smartest player behind the keyboard tonight. But let's see if we can find a box to dump our spellbooks in at least. Or maybe I'm just going to go up and let's just drop them all and see if it does make a difference. It does. So I just dropped a little annotation on that level, just to remind myself that this is where my spellbooks are at. Oh hey look, there is a large box. Let's try re-wielding our quarterstaff. And also putting our ring of slow digestion back on. And we have a key, we can unlock it. Couple of scrolls. Let's go back up. Let's retrieve our spell books. Clear our annotation. So, what are we going to put in? We probably can put in those food rations. Like, we don't care about carrying them around. We've got a ring of slow digestion. We're not going to need all of them. We're also not imminently about to read any of these scrolls. So let's put them in for safekeeping, if nothing else. We don't need either of those spell books. I might keep those around, and I might just chance reading them just so I can learn the spell and then stash the spell book. My potion of holy water and regular water I'm not going to do anything with. My ring I don't care about. The wand of polymorph, I might keep that. That one's kind of like a useful escape wand, right? Like if I'm facing something big and scary and it's about to kill me, I can zap it. And it might turn into something bigger and scarier, or it might turn into something smaller and easier to deal with. So we put a whole bunch of stuff in there. Our movements are now unencumbered. So let's take a chance. Let's read this spell book. So we learned Remove Curse. And Detect Treasure, which is a nice spell to have, but we cannot cast it yet. It is too hard for us to cast. But we can put those spellbooks to the box. And I don't think we had a look on that downstairs just to see what's down there. Yeah, we didn't look at the downstairs, did we? I can take a rat. I can take 2 rats. So here's the other downstairs. This is going to take us down into the mines. Let's cast a Force Bolt at these Rothays. I'm going to eat myself a Roth. I'm going to pick up and drop a Roth. And Rex is going to eat a Rothay. Sorry, I called them Roths for years and years and years, and I still think of them as the Roths. But we learned from the encyclopedia they are Rothays, so I am making an effort. So Casey in the chat says those spellbooks we found seem pretty good, and I would agree with you. They're not very useful to us right now, but they might be more useful in the future. I'm totally taking this Hobbit's dagger. I'm going to throw it right back at him. So there is an elven mithril coat, which is a nice find. If we had, or if we didn't have the aversion to metal armor. Metal armor does not work well with spellcasters. So wizards will tend to avoid it. This could be very bad luck. We were meandering around a dungeon and trod on a trapdoor. A trapdoor opens up under you. And that's not as critical as it looks, because the dwarf and the gnome are going to be friendly. The kobolds don't scare me. I can take a kobold. And the zombie, nah. How is that? That's a good screenshot. Just in terms of the dev team thinks of everything. The dwarf trod on a rolling boulder trap. The boulder rolled over a pit, which we had not yet seen, which triggered the pit and then filled the pit. Ooh, a ghoul is much scarier than I thought. And there's also this paper golem coming up. So if I can run away a bit... Oh, look at that, go on, kill the ghoul and the paper golem for me. I will take it. So while running away, the gnome trod on a rolling boulder trap, which took out the ghoul and definitely did some damage to the paper golem. Hey, we've got a stethoscope. We are fervently neutral. If only we had a pet. We're going to apply that stethoscope to the dwarf. We can see that he's got 10 HP, AC 8. A lot of rock piercers up in this dungeon this evening. There's actually quite a lot of high-level monsters floating around this dungeon. Like, we've seen some baby crocodiles. Those rothays. So we've gone back up the level. If you remember, we fell through the pit. So let's see if we can find our kitten. Before we go any further down in the mines. That's useful. And again, I just ran past a thing, and it looked like an at, a brown at. Maybe I imagined that, because that would say like a were creature of some kind. So there is a leprechaun. The leprechaun is asleep, I think, and that puts it on the thing. Let's zap some spells. Of course, my kitten is going to get involved. I don't want to allow the leprechaun to hit me, because then the leprechaun's going to steal my gold. But the leprechaun, it looks like, is making a run for it. I think it's on the diagonal with me, so we'll hit it again. Bam. Good night, leprechaun. Rex eats a leprechaun corpse, and you might find yourself wondering, does that mean that Rex is going to get teleportitis? No, Rex does not now have teleportitis. There are a couple of requests in the chat, and I think, yes, I can totally name an object. So we wanted to name the stethoscope to Stethodope. We can check on our kitten while we have him. It's not going to show up very well, it's just going to show up as a stethoscope, even though I did name it. I will totally take that dwarf's dagger. Yeah, I'm more worried about the centipede than the rock piercer. So that's pretty much this level of Minetown pretty much explored, I think. Let's go down another level and let's hopefully get Rex to come along with us. And let's see if we can just get down as far as Minetown, see if we can find the altar down there. And then that might be a good place to wrap up for the night, as time is not a pressure quite yet, but we're starting to get towards the end of our time together. So I don't think we did pick up a lamp. I was going to say, I did have some vague memory of a lamp. And like, this is much more useful for when exploring levels, you know, we can actually see things like find that staircase pretty simply. Ugh, killer bees. This might be game over again, right? Like a bee, one bee is pretty uncommon. They tend to hunt in packs. Let's try that cause fear. That's likely to make that bee want to disappear, which it did. But that is a panther, or jaguar, which is closing in. I could run for the staircase, and I would probably make it. But it's not a guarantee. I don't think I would make it to the staircase, so I'm going to step away and zap Force Bolt at the Jaguar. And again. Yeah. See? More bees! I'm going to zap Force Bolt again. I'm going to run away at this point and hope the bee doesn't follow me. So I don't know whether that towel is cursed or not, and I cannot remember whether I've eaten any floating eye corpses yet in this game. We can go and have a look downstairs. That is a fire ant. I definitely want nothing to do with that. So that door is locked. I'm going to leave that door alone and hope that I find an unlocked door. Although I have a key. I keep making that comment and forgetting that I have a key. Let's travel to, say, here. Because I would not be surprised to find a hidden door somewhere down here. But apparently not. So let's go and unlock that door. A lot of snakes. And that is one of the watchmen, so I can't even zap to try and get rid of them right now. But I can zap to get rid of them now. And we haven't been throwing our daggers enough, so let's throw a couple of daggers. So I'm going to try and be a little bit more careful. In Minetown, because it was a little bit of carelessness last time that really cost us our character. So we got a forbidding feeling when we came in here. So this isn't a co-aligned altar, this is a cross-aligned altar. So we can drop some more stuff, find out its cursedness. Pretty much all uncursed. Let's snuff out our lamp as well, because we don't need to keep that lit. I'm going to keep my quarterstaff as an empty thing, but I think I should probably start wielding a dagger to try and get better at those daggers, because we will find an altar eventually. So it is past. I definitely want to be thinking about wrapping up soon, but let's just have a quick look in some of these other shops, or see if we can at least get the map for Minetown a little bit more exposed. So there is some kind of, I'd say, peaceful pony. I was starting to think about taming it, because potatoes are vegetables, so horses and horse-like domestic animals, I think is the actual official Nethack term, will eat a potato. I've just blundered into a bugbear. I'm going to zap a Spell of Force Bolt at this bugbear. I'm going to zap another Spell of Force Bolt at this bugbear. There is a bat. I don't like bats because bats can blind you. There's actually not all that many shops floating around. That is a nice find. Definitely don't like quasits either. We have a stethoscope, we can see how many hit points it's got. See, 25 hit points is kind of a lot. I'm going to step into this shop, and I'm going to... I was hoping I could close that door. See, I can't even cast a spell at this quasit, because there's the Minetown Captain, and if my spell hits the Minetown Captain, which it probably will, I'm going to make him angry. This could be game over for me again. Let's see if we can zap the quasit into submission. Oh, bugger. Yep. See that? That's game over, that is. That is me not looking at the watch captain after saying, hey, we should be careful, there's a watch captain over there. Let's not zap the watch captain. And then I didn't check to see whether the watch captain had come back. So even if somehow we get out of this little issue with the watch captain, with the Quasit, we do now have angry watch captains. Well, I think we should probably try our Wand of Polymorph. So we just zapped our Wand of Polymorph at that watchman and watch captain, and we turned the watchman into a longworm. The longworm breaks out of its armor. The longworm drops its gloves. The longworm can no longer hold its shield. The longworm's helmet falls to the floor. The Marolith wields a short sword. The Marolith thrusts her short sword. Maroliths are also scary, and I don't know how it turned into a longworm and then a Marolith. The Marolith hits, we die. Inishbofin gratefully inherits all of your possessions. So I guess that will teach me to keep trying to play Nethack after saying, hey, let's stop when we get to the altar. Hey, let's keep playing. Right? That was kind of an avoidable death. If I'd been wielding my quarterstaff, I would probably have been able to beat down that Quasit. Maybe I should have tried to retreat earlier and hide. None of those other... I mean, the Wand of Digging, we would have annoyed the shopkeeper by digging down, but we would have resulted in us escaping. So that would have been an option. We never did find out what was in that sack, though it will tell us. Tripression. So we got killed by a Marolith, and okay, it was avoidable, but you know what? Maroliths are pretty hardcore. In terms of a gravestone, that's one we can justify. So that is where we will wrap it up for the evening, and that is very much the nature of Nethack. Sometimes you can have games which last ages and ages and ages. Sometimes you'll blow through 3 characters all in one go. So, if you have enjoyed this show, then you should definitely subscribe to Nethack Nights on Twitch if you are not already. The username is soda_culture. There is also the Nethack Nights blog, which you can find at nethack-nights.tumblr.com, where you will find write-ups of previous episodes and links to the YouTube videos for previous episodes. And if you would like to keep up with me personally, you can follow me on Twitter at @acreature. So that is where we are. We're leaving it off tonight. I've been playing on nethack.alt.org. You can log in and watch other games. So if you've enjoyed watching Nethack, that is the place to be. Nethack Nights normally streams every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 PM Eastern Time. So Casey's Move, I've been guest hosting recently. Casey's Move is starting to come to an end, so I don't know if I will be hosting next Thursday. If I am, then we will do a random character. We will do a random roll, see what chance gives us, and see how long we can survive that. But if not, I'm sure I shall stream again in future. You can find me on Twitch at ACOTN. It stands for A Creature of the Night. So thank you very much for watching. Please do subscribe. If you have friends who like Nethack, tell them all about Nethack Nights, because it is fun to watch and fun to play, and it's also nice to see different play styles. I really enjoy watching Casey play, and everyone else too. So until next time, keep hacking those nets, and be seeing you